91.3 FM Real College Radio. I'm Garrett. This is the first installment of RSU Radio In Studio. We're joined with Sami.The.Great. You've been a songwriter since, for a long time. You wrote poetry, correct?
Yeah.
What's the difference between song lyrics and poetry?
That's interesting. I mean, poetry, I would write poetry when I was growing up, but I was never a professional poet by any means. That's a really good question. I think that lyrics can be a little bit more simplified, or not. I think there's definitely, like Fiona Apple is one of my favorite songwriters, and I think her lyrics are incredibly poetic. And I don't know if I would compare my lyrics, for example. I like writing more simple and more absorbable kind of lyrics, I guess. And I don't know if I would actually call it, like if I wrote it down, I don't know if I would call it a poem compared to if I were to sit down and write a poem, what that would look like.
Have any of your poems inspired some of your songs? Or are those two separate things?
No, and honestly, I haven't written any poems in a long time that I would show anybody, at least. But when I was younger and I was writing more poetry, I would start writing lyrics, but they never really went anywhere at the time. And if you even tried to pull a fast one on me. I'd been singing all my life as well, but and playing different instruments. But it was when I was in college, I used to do hospitality for the bands that would come into the school. And, you know, we had people like Phantom Planet, Kanye West, John Mayer, Duncan Sheik, OAR, like all these people come. And I got to hang out with them and spend the day with them. And earlier on in that process, when I first started out doing that, and I could see the behind the scenes and was just a part of their one day out of their life kind of thing, I thought to myself, oh, this is something that I think I would like to do. And I would always feel really depressed after they left, as if I experienced something really great and felt great doing. And then the next day just went back to ordinary life. So I felt like after that I started pursuing it. So it was after my freshman year of college that I really started putting music and writing together, and I never looked back.
One of the things that you've said about your songwriting is that you wanted to make music that others who felt like they didn't belong could relate to. What does that mean, and how do you incorporate that? When
I'm writing, even though I'm writing about heartbreak and stuff like that a lot, it's coming from me, who's a person who is kind of in between worlds, and I don't know if that comes across in the lyrics or the music or anything, but just overall, who I am as a person is the person who's writing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so I wonder if more it's my story that would inspire people who are like me from different cultures to be like, oh, this person is doing stuff and she doesn't belong either, kind of thing.
Right.
So maybe it'll inspire other people to, I don't know, form their own path.
Talk about, what people can expect from a live show from Sami.The.Great.
It's always changing, but right now I've been using my computer for some stuff, and I have a microKORG and an electric guitar, and it's a little bit more amplified. I personally, as much as I think acoustic sets are lovely, I get kind of bored with them, especially when I'm the one playing it over and over every night. So I haven't done that in a while. So it's more, electronic, even though it's not electronic music. Electric, I should say. Plugged in.
Right.
There you go.
Not unplugged.
Exactly.
Okay. There's one more thing that I wanted to ask you about your album.
Okay.
The astronaut
Yes.
Explain that, because I was looking at a lot of the pictures, and you are on dates with the astronaut, hold hands with him. I'm just thinking, what is...
So the astronaut is a lot of things to me. First of all, I'm obsessed with space and the universe and all that, and that clearly is a symbol of that to us, at least to people on planet Earth. But I just sounded like a total crazy person when I said that. But also, when I think for my album in particular, I think it's a mix of kind of throwback pop kind of music from like the 50s, 60s, and modern music. And I think the astronaut, at least to me, kind of symbolizes both time periods, because in my mind, when I see an astronaut, I think of the future, but I also think of, the first man on the moon, and kind of retro. I get a retro vibe from it. So I thought it was a good symbol to exemplify both of those worlds meeting, kind of thing.
I like that.
Thanks.
I'm a big fan of space and everything else, so
Nice.
you're not crazy. All right, so now we'll give you a few minutes to self-promote, self-plug, anything that you want to talk
geez.
about. It's your floor.
Okay. Well, I have an album, and it's called Sami.The.Great, and it's on iTunes and stuff, and I'm a poor traveling musician, so you should go buy it. And so empty. Whoa, I feel so weird.
Sami.The.Great. Catch her on iTunes. Sami.The.Great is the album.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
I don't need you anymore. Life is how it was before. Take your things from my dresser drawer, 'cause I don't need you anymore. 'Cause I don't need you anymore.